We've been dealing with some egg theft. I'll be lucky to get like 1 or 2 duck eggs per day. I'm also finding a fair number of duck egg shells outside of the pasture. This right here is exactly what I was talking about. The duck egg was probably laid somewhere over here, and that critter brought it over here and consumed it. And this time I know exactly who that critter is. All right, come on out, flashlight. All right, Abby, I've got some very, very good news for you. Your leg wound has healed up sufficiently enough, and that means I'm going to remove your collar. Yay! Look at you, you're free! So yes, after I think it's about 3.5 weeks that Abby has been wearing this collar, her leg is now fully healed, and she can go back to being a livestock guardian dog. Yes, I know, you're so happy to be free, yes. You know, Abby actually did a tremendously good job living inside the house for the last few weeks, and I am gonna miss having a house dog, but I know that our girl is totally ready to go back. All right, come on, let's go. So Abby's return to the farm is not the only thing I want to talk to you guys about today, because we've been dealing with some egg theft, and I actually think I know who has been stealing our egg, and so I'm going to share that with you guys today. But first, it's time for the reunion we've all been waiting for. Come on out. Hey guys. Hey Toby. Yes, Abby only wanted to go inside the yard. Toby dog only wanted to come outside of the yard. You can't make this stuff up. Come on, Mr. Toby dog, let's go. I know, Abby. The farmyard looks a lot different since you've been gone. There's all these geese wandering around. I really wonder how she's gonna do with all the geese. Hey, you guys, stay out of my catnip patch. Hey, don't ruin the catnip. Toby, what are you doing? Something's got Toby's attention in the catnip patch. What is it? Is there something there? Toby, what are you doing, man? You're killing my catnip. The two of you, you're all worked up. I don't even know what's going on. But I will admit that yes, our farm has descended into summer chaos, including the fact that we still have a whole bunch of ducks that aren't even our ducks hanging out here. Abby's like, oh, those weren't my ducks, huh? All right, so those two flew off. Now those two just flew off. Abby's not quite sure what to make of it all. He's very confused. He's like, I haven't been gone that long. Ducks are starting to fly now? What the heck? But yes, I suppose it is appropriate that I start talking to you guys about the ducks. Because over the course of this summer, I've been dealing with a problem related to my ducks. And more specifically, related to my duck eggs. So ever since my ducks moved from the hoop coop over there, all the way out to living full-time in the permaculture orchard out back, the sheer number of eggs that I've been getting has dropped dramatically. And that drop in egg production has been quite precipitous. You know, I was getting about 15 to 20 duck eggs per day back in April, but then as soon as May rolled around and I moved the ducks out here, I think that number dropped down to like maybe a handful a day. And at this point over the summer, I'll be lucky to get like 1 or 2 duck eggs per day. Come on, flashlight. Well, part of the problem is rooted in the fact that my ducks are now free-ranging, and they are leaving their eggs all over the pasture, and I doubt that I'm finding most of those eggs that they're leaving out here. But the fact of the matter is, I'm also finding a fair number of duck egg shells outside of the pasture. And this is something that's been happening consistently all over the course of the summer. That up and down that farm road that leads to the upper pasture, as well as if I look over towards the woods over in there, what I'm actually finding is that the duck eggs are ending up all over the place, but they always seem to be turning up outside of this fence. And this fence is a 5-foot high woven wire fence with 1-inch by 2-inch gridding. It has an electrical top wire that has enough juice to knock even a black bear on its butt. And then to top it all off, we have livestock guardian dogs that are out here keeping the predators at bay. But the egg thefts continue. And I've been rather baffled as to what's the animal that's stealing my egg. And so to solve this mystery, like any good detective, I decided to go out and do some investigating. And more specifically, my investigations took the form of setting up trail cameras all around the perimeter of the duck yard, hoping to get some sort of clues as to what is stealing the eggs. Oh, look at Flashlight. She gets to drink from the puddle again. I love doing that. I'm so glad to have you back, girl. But now, as closely as I watched my trail camera footage to look for a culprit, I actually was having no luck in figuring out who was stealing my egg. Until now. But yes, I have very much been stumped by this mystery over the course of the summer. Like, it had me wondering if there was some sort of wild animal getting inside the yard, and through the sheer power of deduction, I had to assume so. But I was really stumped as to what it could be. It's not like it could have been a fox climbing that fence and coming in and going out and being undisturbed by the dogs. I feel like the same truth goes for a bobcat or a coyote, because when it comes down to it, if any of those three predators were to try to climb this fence and get over, they would still be struggling with dealing with the dogs, and I would actually expect them to more likely want to eat one of the birds themselves than just stealthily steal the eggs. And so just through the sheer power of deduction, I felt like I could rule out those guys. The other two animals that I had as suspects that I started to give heavier consideration to were raccoons and black bears. Our farm is home to plenty of raccoons, and we actually have one black bear that I know has definitely taken up residence in our woods and has been wandering around in this area. I've made other videos on that topic. And both animals have been known to eat eggs, and actually might be less likely to try to catch free-range ducks and goose just because it would be difficult for them to catch them in this type of an environment. But just given the sheer number of eggs that are being stolen, and the fact that I had the trail cameras out, and the fact that I saw absolutely no evidence of either animal type, and the fact that if the black bear got into this yard, one of the first things they would do would be to break into this unsecured grain bin. Because of all of those facts, I felt like it was pretty reasonable to rule out both the black bear and the raccoon as a potential thief. Yet my problems persisted, and there were still issues of all of my eggs getting stolen. I would find eggshells like all up and down there, and I had zero insight as to why. Okay, Abby, you're gonna be reunited with your cows now. We're gonna go tranquilo, right? Tranquilo. Abby, hey, no, whoa, 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 whoa. You know, one of the downsides of having Abby off farm for 4 weeks, or nearly 4 weeks inside, is that I feel like she might have forgotten some of her training, so I'm gonna have to work with her as I reintroduce her back into the farm. Don't chase them. Good girl, good girl, good girl. They're gonna go where they wanna go. You give them their space. So if my problem wasn't a raccoon, and my problem wasn't a bear, and it wasn't a bobcat, and it wasn't a coyote, and it wasn't a fox, I was actually starting to find myself running out of potential suspects. I know that there were some commenters who were suggesting that it was the dogs that were stealing the eggs, but I don't think that that is true. Number one, the fact that if the dogs were doing it, they would not be able to bring the egg without me noticing it outside of the fenced-in area. And then reason number two is they are very good dogs. In my new book, Toby Dog of Goldshaw Farm, available September 18th, pre-order your digital copy down below, or order your print copy in September. Well, in my new book, there is a character on the farm by the name of Grody Otis. And Grody Otis is a skunk who Toby lets wander the farm eating insects as long as he promises not to eat any of the duck eggs. And so a skunk would be a potential candidate for stealing the eggs. But again, I would be hard-pressed to see a skunk steal an egg, climb the fence, and then take the egg outside of the fence. While not necessarily entirely impossible, it seems wildly improbable that that would be the case. And maybe I could say, oh, that would happen once. But for that to happen over and over again, north of 50 times, let me just tell you that it is not a skunk, my friends. And besides, I've had trail cameras stationed all around the farm, and I've seen zero evidence of skunks wandering about. At least in like this area here. Look at that. Pablo Barncat saw us all come up here, and he decided to follow. How are you doing there, Pops? What's going on, buddy? I think you probably just want to be fed. Well, let's go. I gotta go do more chores. And so yes, I have just gone through the entire inventory of potential suspects and ruled out every single one, which might have you guys wondering, well, what the heck could it be? Who could possibly steal all of the duck eggs from all of these ducks that we have living out here in the pasture? And despite the fact that I was unable to catch this activity on video, just yesterday I witnessed a theft. And that theft came from the sky. No, not this guy, the sky.
Excuse me while I kiss the sky.
Abby dog, come, we got more chores to do. Come on, sweetie. Good girl. Good job there. I know, Abby's can only use the people door. Of course, Pablo knows how to use the dog door. By the way, just as a little follow-up to a previous video, that mysterious bird that was caught in my fence and that died, it turns out it was in fact an American bittern. The bittern is a heron-type bird. They usually eat insects and fish and amphibians and other creatures that live near swamps and marshes and creeks and ponds. If I had to make a guess, it's probably because we have such a large frog population now here as well as in the marshes that we attracted the bittern in the first place, and it was just kind of sad that it got caught in the fence. And I also know that some of you might be suspecting that the animal that was stealing my eggs was the bittern, but I genuinely don't think that that was the case either. They're not usually known for eating a lot of eggs, and based on the amount of eggs that have been eaten, I just see it as highly unlikely, given that that was the first time I've ever seen one ever here on the farm. And so while I think the culprit is a bird, I don't think it was that bird. All right, let's go check on our girl, Rosie. How's it going, Rosie? Where's your little ones? There they are, 1, 2, 3. Aw, they're looking great. Everybody's doing good. They got their feed. Okay, got water. This will be cleaned out a little bit. There you go, fresh water. Yeah, the nursery seems like it's working out really well for Rosie and her little ones. And so I'm definitely keeping them in here for probably about a month. And I don't want either of those two trying to come in here, because I think if they were to come inside, it would mean trouble. Yes, I'm talking about you, Lady Abby. Nope, Abby, back off, no. Good job, Rosie. You show her who's boss. I am impressed with the stones on Rosie right there. Wow. I know, Abby, she was showing you who's boss. And I know, Abby, you can't play with those chickens either. We're still gonna have to work on you with your chicken problems. You know, one animal I haven't really seen around much on the farm today is Molly Murder Mittens. Have you guys seen her floating around? Well, if it isn't my Piggly Wiggly. How's it going, girls? Huh? How you doing? Yeah, good to see you, girls. Go, get. You're gonna hurt yourself. All right, back up, girls. Back up. Enjoy. Don't understand why they completely forsake that one. Come on, Abby dog. Good girl. Hold on a second, I just saw something. Where was it? It was just right around here. Ah, there it is. Look at this. We got ourselves a crime scene, my friends. More eggshells, see? This right here is exactly what I was talking about. The duck egg was probably laid somewhere over here, and that critter brought it over here and consumed it. And this time I know exactly who that critter is. I had been struggling with this mystery the entire summer, and I finally had it figured out yesterday when I was actually standing up at the top of the hill, like just, I don't know, maybe 200, 300 feet up that hill, and I suddenly saw a murder of crows. Yes, I said a murder. Crows, when they travel in a pack, they are not a flock, they are not a herd, they are not a school. The correct terminology is a murder of crows.
Those are birds!
And yesterday morning, around 10 a.m., I saw a murder of crows, and they started picking at an egg, and one of those crows flew over here and started eating the egg right over up there, over towards the fence. Now, because I was back there, I didn't actually get good footage of it, but I saw it with my own eyes, and I can confirm that the animals that are stealing my eggs are crows. And as far as solutions to this mystery goes, it might be slightly unsatisfying, but it makes perfect sense. You know, when I set up trail cameras all throughout here, I really was trying to like track down low. I was really trying to watch the fence. I was really trying to watch the brush line. All of the areas I was looking really had me looking for a land creature, when the reality is a crow could easily fly over. Crows are notorious thieves and are known to steal stuff and pick up small objects and carry them away. And what crow wouldn't love eating a duck egg? So there you have it. Mystery solved, case closed. We now know who was stealing my eggs. I think the more complicated problem I've got to deal with now is how do I stop them from stealing my eggs? And can I even stop them from stealing my eggs? But that is a topic for a future video.